I had the good fortune to grow up in a literacy-rich environment. As a child growing up in the 1980s, I spent many hours snuggled amongst the stacks of my public library. From my school library, I checked out every book by Judy Blume, Lois Lowry, Cynthia Voigt, and Carolyn Haywood. My parents were readers. I look forward to the nights where they would host their book clubs, as it certainly meant I'd sneak leftover desserts, I'd benefit from a laxer bedtime, and I would eavesdrop snippets of adult conversation. Each month, I would pore over the crinkly newsprint pages of the Scholastic book catalog, contemplating which purchases would get me the most for my allowance. It's no wonder that I've grown up to be a lifelong reader, and I am raising my 5th grade daughter in a similar fashion. Our bookshelves overflow, the public librarians in our town know us by name, and our social media feeds are full of children's book authors who we revere as celebrities. But not every child is so fortunate. Too many children today lack book access in their homes, schools, and communities. These children live in book deserts. According to the International Literacy Association, a book desert is an under-resourced or underserved area with little access to written materials. The term was coined by Unite for Literacy in 2010 and popularized in research from 2016. Today, there are huge discrepancies in availability of books within one city. In a high-poverty area of Washington, D.C., 833 children would have to share one book in order for them to read over summer vacation. 45% of our nation's children live in neighborhoods that lack public libraries or lack stores that sell books, or in homes where books are not present. And the result? 32 million children go without books. Now, let's keep in mind that these figures are pre-COVID, and as libraries and schools have shuttered due to the pandemic, access to books is even more difficult. So, what's the impact of book deserts? Well, the obvious outcome is that book deserts make it unlikely that children read outside to school. Book deserts constrain young children's opportunity to start school ready to learn. Without books, children miss out on chances to acquire vocabulary, content knowledge, and a wide variety of literacy skills. And let's not forget the socio-emotional benefits that come from adult-child reading interaction. As we read aloud to children, we boost their academic, linguistic, and social skills. Through books, we learn empathy. We see worlds different than our own, and we problem solve. I've taken ending book deserts on as both my personal and professional mission. In my community, I've led a book drive in which we've collected and donated nearly 10,000 gently used children's, middle grade, and young adult books. I reached out to friends and neighbors on social media and placed enormous bins on my front porch. I recruited my child to personally screen each book for its condition and its desirability. I partnered with local Title I schools and community centers to distribute these books. My lower back may be aching from the packing and the lifting of boxes of books, but my heart is full, thinking of the students and the teachers who benefit from the generosity of my community. But I am just one person, and individual book drives don't begin to chip away at the larger institutional issue of book access. Fortunately, all across our nation, there are literacy activists who work to end book deserts on a larger scale. I've had the pleasure of speaking with all of these innovative people and programs in my End Book Deserts podcast, and here are just a few of my favorites. United Through Reading, which enables deployed parents to send personalized video-recorded readings and their accompanying books home to children. Similar programs exist for students with incarcerated parents, such as the Women's Storybook Project of Texas. All across the country, laundromats are being transformed into literacy centers. A collaboration between the Laundry Cares Association and Too Small to Fail has succeeded in engaging young children in up to 47 minutes of literacy-rich activities as parents and caregivers complete their washing and drying. Book banks, staffed by volunteers, help sort and deliver books. I'm particularly inspired by Illinois-based Bernie's Book Bank, San Francisco Children's Book Project, and the Maryland Book Bank, who loads a van full of books and takes local NFL players to distribute books to kids in their neighborhoods. And finally, teacher-created New Jersey-based Book Smiles. JetBlue Airline has created Soar with Reading, where they stock $3.5 million of books into vending machines. They place those vending machines in visible locations in low-income areas, and the vending machines enable young readers to get an unlimited number of free, brand new books donated by popular publishing companies. When it comes to book access, these literacy warriors prove that where there's a will, there's a way. But ending book deserts entails more than merely flooding areas with books. We must also create book culture by inviting authors to discuss their craft, by creating welcoming spaces to discuss books, and fostering the reading habits of readers of all ages. We all play a collective role in the work to end book deserts and to increase book access. To those of us who have the good fortune to teach in book oases, we play important roles in ending book deserts. We must be the vocal advocates who spread awareness around the issue, as many people outside of the field of education are simply unaware of the presence and impact of book deserts. In your community, you might inspire local businesses, churches, and organizations to begin book collections or book drives. You might donate money to larger networks like Dolly Parton's Imagination Library or Reach Out and Read, which provides books to pediatricians to distribute during healthy child checkups. You might even rally your public library to eliminate late fees, which penalizes economically strapped patrons. Major areas such as Chicago, Phoenix, and Dallas have done this with the support of the Urban Libraries Council. These public libraries were shocked to find that once they got rid of those late fees, there was an increase in both patronage and those overdue materials all of a sudden came back. If you're looking to have an immediate direct impact, you might buy books for teachers, choosing from their Amazon wish list or donorschoose.org. In addition to being a vocal advocate, you can find a local book bank and donate your time sorting and distributing books. For those teaching in book deserts, we need to be generous with the resources that we do have. What a shame it is to think about books in classrooms and school libraries that sit on shelves during school breaks and summer holidays. As we shine the light on accessibility of books in our low-income urban and rural areas, we increase our ability to transform book deserts into book oases. Ultimately, we must see access to books as a right and not a privilege. As access to books is a fundamental equity issue, we must tirelessly work to ensure that all children have books. When we come together in neighborhoods and communities rich with books and those lacking books, we increase the likelihood that all children will become lifelong readers. For more information, visit endbookdeserts.com.